Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. But real quick, before we get into it,
get ready to raid. Explore and fight. Choose your champions. Raid Shadow Legends.
usually when a game gets enough notoriety and enough fame, the people behind the games like to squeeze as much money as they can out of the franchise and make a mobile game just in case if anyone doesn't have the console or computer to play the game on, they can play some sort of iteration of it on their phone. Skylanders is no different in this case. In fact, if you count the games that are also ported down to mobile, there are 8 Skander mobile games. Each is very different from one another, so let's take a look back at Skander's rich mobile game history. Also, at the time of making this video, Skander's Rink of Heroes is still on the App Store, but will be shutting down on February 28th. So if you're watching this video after that fateful day, RIP Skander's Rink of Heroes. Anyway, let's get into it. The very first Skander's mobile game to ever grace us with their presence. And this is the only mobile game that I really ever actually played for more than one day. That game is Skander's Cloud Patrol. I have played other mobile games from the Skander series in small quantities, but Cloud Patrol, oh yeah, I played the heck out of this, and I played it on my iPad. Yes, I was playing Skander's mobile games on my iPad back in the day. I remember when my mom told me there's a Skander's on the iPad, and I just kept grinding on Cloud Patrol every single day. The best thing about this game is that on every single Skander's box from Skander's Giants and Spyro's Adventure, there was a sticker that came along with them. And on that sticker, there was a code on it, and if you input that code into Cloud Patrol, you could play as that Skander in the mobile game. That is probably the best feature in this game, being able to play as any Skander you own. And also you can just get a Skander if you don't have them within game gyms. With that all being said, however, Skander's Cloud Patrol is the most simple out of any of these Skander's mobile games, and it's not really even that close. It is really just a point and click game. Basically, that is all you do. Each wave, there are a bunch of trolls that you need to get rid of in each area, and there are more and more trolls in each area and more obstacles that will stop you from getting rid of them. That's basically the extent to Skander Cloud Patrol's gaming experience. There really isn't that much to do after you finish the first couple areas. For this reason, Cloud Patrol can get really boring for anyone under the age of 10. But I get it because this game was actually made for people probably under the age of 10. For what it's worth, Cloud Patrol is a pretty well built game that just really doesn't have any staying room because of how short it is. I mean, you can gain magic items, but they don't really do that much inside the game. The thing that probably kept the most people playing is the global leaderboard, so everyone can see your high score. So if you wanted to be known as the best Skander's Cloud Patrol player ever, you could gain that title. However, if you had a life like most individuals, then most likely you do not care that much about that award. Overall, Cloud Patrol can be fun, but really only for a certain amount of time before it starts to get boring, as it is very repetitive at the end of the day. The next mobile game that would release for Skander's was Skander's Lost Island. It would release on iOS on October 12th, and about 1 year later it would release on Android in November 2013. And it would last all the way until 2017, where it would be discontinued. Skander's Lost Islands, in short, is somewhat like if Skander's had a Clash of Clans game. You can customize your islands with buildings, decorations, and Skanders. Once you got a Skander, they could just walk around the island. You can build homes for Mobus on the island as well. The more Mobu houses you have, the more Mobu population, and you'll be able to get buildings the Mobus can make, like banks and post offices and other things of the sort. There are also gems and gold that you could use to buy other buildings and put on your island, like adventure balloons and energy fields. Some cool features that Lost Islands had was the Skander alter egos. Basically, they are just variants of Skanders, and some of these actually had a lot of detail in them for a mobile game, like Surfer Slam Bam, Buttered Popthorn, and Gourmet Gusto. These are really cool introductions because you don't actually ever see them in the main games, so they are exclusive to Lost Islands. But the main aspect of the game was building your island to make it filled with buildings and Skylanders. There was also another feature called Elemental Day Function, where if you used a Skander that matched the element, you would get some extra experience and gold coins. You can also get quests from companions or high-level Skanders, and these quests would get progressively harder as the game went on. With finishing the quest, you'd get coins and experience points. You'd probably like Skander's Lost Islands if you like Clash of Clans. It's probably the best mobile game for you actually. However, like I said in the beginning portion of this part, this game was discontinued in 2017, much like all the other Skander's mobile games. Skylanders Battlegrounds is the first and only mobile game that wasn't a direct port that came with a starter pack and portal. The starter pack costed $50, which is a lot to ask for a mobile game, but the game itself actually still costed money, and it costed $7. So you'd have to pay at the very minimum $57 for a mobile game. The Battlegrounds starter pack came with Series 2 Cinder and Jetpack, and of course with Royal Double Trouble. The game is separated into sections of different worlds. For example, World 1 Level 1 would be 1-1, then 1-2, then 1-3. You get it. Each level is separated into hexagons or tiles that you can move on and off. And if you move to a hexagon that has an enemy on it, you must fight the enemy, which will launch you into a little battle arena that you can actually fight and move around in. And it's an actual level within Skylands. It looks like that. It looks like an actual level that you would find in Skylands. And you get to fight those enemies. For a mobile game, that's pretty cool, honestly. The fact that you can get so much movement and control in these areas, even if it is very brief, is very cool. Swappers can use 2 attacks, while regular cores can use 1 attack in these areas. In the islands, you can also find elemental chests, where you need a Skander with the corresponding element to open the chests. There are even elemental gates on the islands. All the money that you gather, though, on your adventure doesn't go into one Skander, but it goes into one giant stash of money. Once you finish all the objectives in each level, you go through a gate, and you'll be done with the world. Each world is a bit different, but you get a good feel for the game after probably about the first 5 levels. You can get different fighting arenas though when you go into them. There's a water arena, ice arena, and earth arena, and a bunch more different arenas, so it's nice to see that they try to mix it up a bit. But like I mentioned, it really is just not that different after level 1. You just gotta move your Skanders on a bunch of tiles to win. However, for a mobile game, this is pretty good honestly. And while yes, a $50 starter pack is a bit much to ask for, if you were able to get the game cheaper while still available, it was probably a fun play. But it would ultimately be removed in 2016, meeting the same fate as all the other Skanders mobile games. Skanders Battlecast, the shortest lasting Skylanders mobile game. This game had in real life DLC. It was a card game, and you could buy Skanders Battlecast cards and use them in the game and in real life. You could play other people in Battlecast and use your cards to play. You can also get cards within the game, but the better cards are the ones you can find in real life packs, and it would also allow you to play in real life with your friends, if you have those. There is also a story in the game. Kinda, it's not really that in depth. It is somewhat set up like Rink of Heroes, going from island to island, battling different NPCs and card games. However, there really is not that much to Battlecast besides that. It is a card game, and you can only go into so much depth with a card game. You could, however, collect the cards in real life. Like I said, in 2016 and 2017, there were Battlecast cards in stores almost everywhere, and they really were not that expensive. And even on eBay, they're still not that expensive despite being defunct now. The cool thing about the game is probably that almost every card is different, so you can have a lot of variety within the card game and mobile game. Though it is the shortest lasting mobile game for a reason. People simply just couldn't find that much to do with a very limited amount of Skanders. If you think about it, there just isn't that many Skanders they can use compared to games like Pokemon. And they couldn't keep making new cards because, like I said, there is only a certain amount of Skanders, and they couldn't just make up Skanders just for Battlecasts. Battlecast, in my mind, is just a weak attempt to try to rip off Pokemon and other popular card games at the time. Overall, it only lasted for about 1 year before being shelved off the App Store and cards stopped being produced and taken out of stores. Skander's Rink of Heroes, the only mobile game to be released after 2016. Rink of Heroes was initially released in 2018 and was later revamped and re-released in late 2020. Rink of Heroes was made by Com2uS, a gacha game developer, and that's what the game is. You have Skanders you can upgrade and choose 3 or 4 of to fight in boss fights and multiple other fights throughout the game. You can also do a thing called Awaken your Skanders, which makes them just look cooler, which I'm okay with. I think a lot of these Awaken forms are actually pretty cool. Although all the game amounts to, though, is you clicking your Skander to make them attack some enemies that you're currently fighting. The way that you get Skanders is by summoning them, with in-game currency that you can get by battling. You summon a bunch of different Skanders that give you a certain amount of summoning points, and once you get enough summoning points, you can finally summon the actual Skylander. The summoning part of the game went through a big change when they re-released the game.
Another thing they changed in the remake of Ring of Heroes is that when you summon Skanders, you no longer have summoning points, and it just summons the entire Skander. So now you can have the full Skander right when you summon them.
It became more based upon the game, as in the old version, if you wanted the good Skanders, you would more than likely need to use some real life money. There are multiple worlds you can traverse, but on paper, each fight is the same thing. and that becomes more and more evident as the game goes on. The sad thing is, Rink of Heroes didn't even last long enough to add every Skander within the game. There are still a couple Skanders that never made it to the game. Rink of Heroes will be removed from the mobile app store on the 28th of February 2022, which means that after that day, every single Skander mobile game will have been removed from the App Store. All games were solid, but they got removed. Most likely the reason for the removal was because it just wasn't worth it to keep up the games. Keeping a game running costs money, so Activision really had no incentive to keep games up on the mobile game stores since they were not generating any money. I will say it's kind of a punch in the gut knowing that Rink of Heroes is going to get deleted, since it's kind of the only new Skanders media that we've come across in the last couple of years. I didn't really ever mention it, but Trap Team and Superchargers also had mobile games, but these were ports and not new games. They just ported them down to mobile, so I didn't really count them as their own mobile game. These ports are fine, I guess. It's just like playing the games as if you were on the Wii. Obviously, they don't look good as their console counterparts, but it's okay if you're on the go. However, there's not a lot of use for these ports if you have the actual console games. Skanders actually had a lot of mobile presence. Unfortunately, none of the games ever got a good enough reception to stay on the App Store for more than 5 years. And with Rink of Heroes finally getting deleted on the 28th, I thought this was a good time to make a video looking back at the many mobile games that Skanders tried out. It is pretty sad that we still don't at least have Cloud Patrol, but none of these mobile games were bad, I don't think. So if you were able to play them, tell me what you thought about the mobile games in the comments below. Okay, how'd you get here? You see, yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how I got here, and I'm pretty sure that portal behind me just closed. So, I'm stuck here? Man, why the lights on? Turn them off. Oh my god, there's a guy on my bed. Okay, you were definitely not here just a second ago. What is going on? This is not my room. What the heck? Okay, what are you? Cowboys Gamer TV? First of all, no. I'm NFL Gamer TV. And second of all, I think the better question is, who are you? I'm Minecraft Gamer TV. That makes sense. Why are none of you guys asking who I am? Dude, you're in a bed right now. Did you go to sleep with those on? Like, actually, did you go to sleep with those on? Or is this just how this is? You're in a bed. Yeah, what is up with that? Why are you in a bed? Okay, well, first of all, since no one seems to care that much to ask, I'm NBA Gamer TV. And second of all, I was just sleeping and now I'm here. So, I'm just as clueless as the rest of you guys.